Hey everyone, and welcome to Never Split the Party. We are a live play, actual play, however you want to call it, group bringing you Paizo's Starfinder. If this is your first time joining us, that is totally cool. This is going to be the first episode of our second season, and it's going to be, we're structuring it to be a brand new jumping on point. If you were wondering, there are 29 other episodes already out for the first season. Consider it a prologue at this point. We'll be going over character introductions and description, all that fun stuff. So hang out here, and if you get interested, you can go back into the backlog, which are all available on our YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, that's youtube.com/NSTP podcast. You can check all of our other links, social media, and stuff like that in the panels below the video. So just scrolling down if you were looking into some of that stuff. And yeah, I'm going to go into player and party introductions. Then we will go into some announcements, and then we're going to jump right into the episode. So for now, if I could have everyone introduce themselves, I will start. My name is Dustin. I go by the Arbitrary Nerd, and I am the GM for most evenings, at least Starfinder so far. Although I hope to eventually get everyone in the GM chair now that Nick did such a fantastic job in our last special episode last week. All right, I don't actually know who's next anymore, if that changed.
I don't believe it did.
Perfect.
My name is Patrick, and I play a character named Reich Oren. He is a Lashunta envoy. He's a very charismatic young Lashunta. He is 21 years old, so just recently mature in the eyes of Lashunta culture. He's kind of a small androgynous-looking fella because he's an actor and he likes to be able to play in various different roles.
Physical descriptions can come in play while we're actually going into the next scene.
Oh, I thought that's what you were doing. I'm sorry.
Nope, shut your mouth.
I'm Michael, and I am playing Zero, the android operative, and also the pilot of our ship.
My name is Chris. I play Milla Dotwood Abigail Priest. That's Priest spelled Price. He's the best Darkin mechanic out there on the planet. Maybe even the galaxy. Definitely the galaxy. But he's a Yosoki. He's also the ship's engineer.
Hello there. I'm Nick. I play Brawl, the party's low-rolling wonder. He is a
emphasis on the one.
Oh. And he's a Yosoki soldier. Not that you could tell from his roles.
And my name's Justin. I play Seeker, the android technomancer, and artist extraordinaire. And I'm gonna have a hell of a time editing this intro.
Sorry. So sorry. I am so sorry. I'll record a special one just for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
won't.
Dustin's also at fault too, though.
What did I do?
The whole intro. Not gonna sound good on audio, is it? Hey, look down there. See those? See that stuff down there?
I always
Want
cut
me to
that
try
stuff out.
again?
And this whole time when I'm speaking, so you know.
Would you like me to try again and you can edit it in?
No,
it's fine.
keep going.
Too bad. My name is Patrick, and I play Reich Oren, a Lashunta envoy. He is the captain of the crew and a very attractive man.
Thank you,
Nice.
Pat.
I like it.
Yep.
Scene.
For announcements, just some really quick podcasty stuff, or I guess stream stuff too. We have some folks, and please sound off. If you were going to PAX East, I don't think it's this weekend. I think it's next weekend. Is that right? That's not what sound off means.
It is when you play with them.
Fair. Okay, so if anyone is going to PAX East and wants to hook up with our folks, shoot us a shout out on Twitter, and I will harass them to make sure they're aware of it. I'm hoping to have them bump into folks from the Cosmic Crit podcast as well, another lovely Starfinder group, doing the Adventure Pass PyStAl publishes. One new bit of news for our folks that have been following the stream. As of Season 2, we are making a new name for the stream itself, or for the Starfinder campaign, because we do want to eventually offer more, like Nick's Pathfinder one-shot and maybe some longer things. So for the time being going forward, the Starfinder campaign is going to be known as Mostly Harmful. If you don't get the reference, it's referencing something from Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's a play on one of the book titles, Mostly Harmless. Did I say it right the first time?
Yeah,
No,
you did say it
you
right.
said it right the first time.
Nice. I keep screwing up the Mostly Harmful and Mostly Harmless, but obviously ours is the worst one. Right. So yeah, we will be adjusting all of the podcast episode titles and things like that, and the YouTube titles to reflect Mostly Harmful. But just so you guys know, if you guys are like, what is this going on now? You're still watching the same campaign. We're just trying to make sure that it has a canonical name so we can refer to our separate shows differently. Obviously, we have a new overlay. Justin, enjoy this for the podcast. It's going to be so much fun. Am I looking the right way?
I'm down.
I'm down now.
Oh, yeah, it's all different.
Nick,
so,
they're next to each other.
we're still working on the stop it. We're still working on the overlay. There's a couple of things that didn't quite mesh in, and I was scolding everyone in the chat right before we started the stream, which is why I probably look so flush and lovely. We need to get chat actually up there and going, and I think the stream announcements or the Twitch announcements are just going to be there, but we still got to flesh them in a little bit better. And last announcement I have, and this is for anyone who doesn't listen to our audio episodes, we do have a short amount of content that's going to be exclusive to the audio podcast, specifically episode 10, which is going to drop on Thursday. Zero recorded a little bit of like his origin story. So if you want to hear some of that, that's coming at the tail end of episode 10 in our audio podcast, which is available everywhere podcasts are found, except for Spotify because they're jerks. Everywhere else is great though, including Stitcher if that's what you use. Thanks, CJ. I don't know what Stitcher is, but that's fine. Right. Does anyone else have any announcements before we move on into the episode?
I love you all.
Did he say wall? He said
Thank
wall,
you.
didn't he?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I just
love
just
you
gave
all.
you the thank you. Yeah, that's
I
right.
hate you all.
He
You're
loves
welcome.
and hates his walls.
I
fine.
hate Nick.
That's fair. Moving on. I'm going to get into a bit of exposition to set the scene and bring people into our specific version of the Starfinder universe. Let's go with that. It is year 318 AG, also known as After the Gap, and it is 1 year after the PyStAl Incident. Much has changed for the galaxy at large, but nowhere more so than in the packed worlds of the Galarian system. The old governing bodies have been replaced, and now the veritable center of the galaxy is run by a conglomerate comprised of the Viscarium, the Eoxian Dead Fleet, and led by the former Border Space Union, which has rebranded itself as the Gerson Sphere. The PyStAl Incident, which involved the use of giant space stations as planetary weapons, was officially labeled a terrorist attack of an unprecedented scale. Those few whom the Gerson Sphere have determined are responsible are known as the Pact Breakers and are still at large. Little information has been released, but the reward for their capture is great. It was the alleged actions of these Pact Breakers that led to the major destabilization. That's not a word. To the major screw up of the Pact World's government and economy, which allowed the new triumvirate government to take over.
How about collapse?
Collapse? I like that. To the major collapse of the Pact World's government and economy. Justin, you'll fix that, right? Thank you.
Yeah, I'll fix that. I was gonna say you might want to re-say that,
I don't. The word I wrote
The entire
has
thing.
been
Please.
underlined. It's going great. It's fine.
but now I gotta get rid of all this.
Shh. Those
We're
who
gonna
resist-
cut this. We're gonna cut this.
First Sprock is going to be hanging over Brawl's head. Those who resisted were overwhelmed by the strength of the Viscarium, the manipulations of the Eoxians, and the new advanced technology of the Gerson Sphere, which was revealed to be giant humanoid combat vehicles that offered maneuverability far beyond anything seen before, and with specialized tools that allowed them to neutralize warships several times their size. The Triumvirate maintains overwhelming security throughout the Pact worlds, even a full year later. Those in the vast reaches of space have, by and large, felt little impact from the political shifting, but they are still kept in the dark about current affairs at the heart of the Gerson Sphere. And in the deep, vast darkness of space is where we find the Indecision, the very starship crewed by those known as the Pact Breakers. The ship itself has seen wear and tear over the year, though still very much in operation. Created in secret by the Blue Star Corporation, stolen by rogue scientists, and eventually landing in the hands of our infamous heroes. At 195 feet long and consisting of 3 separate decks, the ship is a multi-purpose transport built for skirting the battlefield and making surgical strikes. Shaped something like an arrowhead, it sports horizontal wings at port and starboard, both fore and aft, and though the forward wings and some vestigial fuel pods were added later simply as a disguise. As we zoom in closer to the ship and get into the cockpit itself, situated at the forefront of the smaller top deck, the ship's pilot, the android known as Zero, is currently at the helm, assisted by another Blue Star product, Rex, the ship's robot attendant. Zero, if you want to give your spiel.
All right. So Zero is a proud android, and he's an operative, and he is currently glowing bright blue because the only real enjoyment he has is when he's flying, because it's literally his favorite thing to do. He is wearing a brown pilot, like aviator's jacket. He has like light armor on, and currently he's wondering where his captain is, and he's calling down to Miller, asking for more power to the engines.
All right. Miller, you can see him just kind of reading a book. He's in the engine room itself. He has a book just plopped on the table, and he's just kind of absent-mindedly just reading the book. Meanwhile, the stuff's moving around as the pilot's dodging and everything like that. But he's not really doing much except just reading a book. And then he looks up and sees his little goblin companion, Not Saab, kind of like fiddling with stuff. And he hears Zero.
Miller, power to the engines.
Not Saab, take care of the... No, not the red one. The green one. Yeah.
Okay.
He is... okay, so he just got an upgrade in armor. So he is wearing a Yosoki refractor suit, which is basically... it's the Yosoki equivalent to like a mouse suit. Like he has like a little hood on the back of him where if he pulls it up, it has like little mouse ears.
So it's a Kigu.
Sure, yeah, we'll go with that. Kigu. But he also has like a whole utility belt on him. Basically, he has all of his tools on him at all times. He does have these neat aviator goggles that whenever he's really in concentration, he puts them on, like I am doing myself. These things are connected to his exocortex, the TI-75.
All right, and leaving the engine room, which is on the second tier of the ship, and out of the order I had listed, we come back up to the top deck, and moving backwards from the pilot station, we quickly hit the science officer station, occupied by Stevenson, a human junk dealer from the planet Revel, watching the crew's other android, Seeker, hard at work.
Yes, Seeker is a kind of tallish android with brown hair and a ponytail. It usually goes down to his shoulders or so, but he's got it up in a ponytail. His markings, he's got circuitry all over his face, and they glow different colors depending on what emotion he has at the moment. And he is wearing a long trench coat that is just spattered in different colors of paints and all different stuff with all trinkets pinned around it. And he's currently coaching Stevenson in the arts of checking out different things on their sensor there, trying to find and target different parts of a ship. Right? Right, that's what we're doing. We're chasing a ship. Okay.
Good?
Yep.
All right. Panning back a little bit from the science officer station, we head to one of the ladders to get to the lower floor, but we're actually going to go up a little bit, and we enter one of the gunwale pods situated at the top of the ship, the very top of the ship, currently manned by the Yosoki soldier Brawl, who's making rude gestures as he presses buttons, flips switches, and turns knobs. It's assumed he's working on the guns.
So Brawl, being a very, very tall 3'5", is normally, well, he's always really stocky. He's a swole rat, remember. He would traditionally be gray-furred, average Yosoki length. However, some antics between him and some other crew member. Sure, you can imagine whom.
Unless you've never watched the show before, he's talking about Rye.
Managed to remove said fur in a shower accident. So his fur is currently growing back to what it once was, its former glory, if you will. And he is wearing a nice sleeveless heavy armor, to accentuate his guns. And of course they're not firearms, they're his nice muscles, of course. In the gunner's well, he can somehow fit his newly acquired powered suit of armor, which, for reference, the closest thing that I could give you is imagine the Hulkbuster, but for Brawl.
Very small rat folk. Nice.
Yep.
All right, and finally, dropping down the stairs and returning to midship, that middle deck, we encounter the captain of the ship, Reich Oren, as he emerges from one of the ship's restrooms.
Pat, you're muted.
I muted myself so I wouldn't cough.
It's great. I appreciate that.
So Reich Oren walks out of the restroom, content with himself, claps his hand, shuts the door behind, whistles as he walks down towards the kitchen. All 143 pounds of this tiny 21-year-old Lashunta walks into the kitchen, starts cracking eggs and making breakfast, and pulls out a little thing from his pocket. He's always wearing nice button-up shirts, and he keeps autographs because he is an aspiring actor in his pocket. But this thing he pulls out it's not an autograph. It's a little tiny homemade stuffed rat plush that it did have like a felt material, but he kind of shaved it down, and it's not the prettiest thing. The teeth are kind of bucked and crooked, and the eyes don't match. And he puts it down on the table, but it doesn't quite sit up. So he's gotten into the habit of carrying around this container that says "Fur Be Gone," and he places it in there, and he chuckles to himself. He puts a little autograph card in his arm, and he goes about his business making breakfast for the crew. As far as what he looks like, he's normal height, about 5 foot 5'9", 5'10". He keeps his hair very close to his head. He shaves it because he likes to wear wigs when he goes out acting. He's very androgynous looking, as Lashunta can be, and he's a very attractive Lashunta. He gets by on his looks and his wit.
Because that's about all he's got. But
that's about all he's got. And boom booms.
All right. And as you guys are, or I guess rather, as Rye is nonchalantly trying to turn this into the Eggisode Part 2, the ship is actively firing upon another vessel that you guys have been trailing for probably the better part of an hour. You have been giving chase to a small-ish transport vessel. It's about the same size as the Indecision, if not a little bit smaller. It's a T-shaped model, colorized with some flaky yellow paint and some brown patches that may or may not be rust. It has no visible weapons, and its model is about a decade or two out of fashion, but it is your target. And as you guys are kind of like watching from the viewport, maybe over Zero's shoulder, you've got like Brawl controlling the lasers and kind of firing across its bow, trying to get this thing to stop its flight. As you guys are pursuing the vessel, your comm notification in the HUD of the starship pings. You have an incoming message from the planet of Castrovel. Zero and Rex, you are the only ones in the cockpit. If you choose to answer, that's kosher. And Seeker, you probably would hear this as well.
It's coming directly to there, not to like the science officers.
Yeah, correct. It's most comms are not run to the science officers, I don't think.
Well, because
I have it going through your cockpit area, so it's on you.
All right. In that case, Zero will get up and walk over to the captain's chair, and he'll hit the button to activate the comms.
Perfect. As you step out of your chair, Rex kind of rolls in. And to describe Rex a little bit more, he is a mix between C-3PO and Johnny Five. He's got that like weird kind of janky humanoid face that has no attempt at emotion. The only thing he's got is eyebrows that move. His mouth is just a slot, and nothing else is expression or gives any expression. And his body is spindly, ends in treads, and he's got clamped arms. He slides in and he takes over the controls for piloting while you are popping over to the captain's chair. And as you ping up, a video pops up of Justinian, one of your contacts that you guys had met previously on Pyramid Station Alpha, and one of the few escapees. He is a pale, sallow-looking fellow, looks generally unhappy in his demeanor. And he's wearing a safari hat, like a tan circular bowl-shaped hat. Maybe like you can see the hints of a khaki vest. And he's looking into a risk communications device. And he speaks into it. He says, "First of all, I don't think I need to remind you, but I'm going to anyways. We are talking over the Drift Channel network. Please keep this material non-sensitive. I just wanted to check in with you, Zero. How is the mission coming along?"
We're currently in pursuit.
Okay. All right. Check in when you have made contact with the pilot or captain of the vessel, however they are styling themselves today. I will be awaiting your call on the open channel we have discussed. Thank you very much. And he clicks off. The mission you guys have been given was to arrive at a location, a rendezvous point in space, and to subdue the ship that you guys are currently pursuing. That was all the information you were given. The job was given by Justinian, who works for another contact you guys are more familiar with, the Lashunta female Chimera. We'll revisit her later if we ever do meet her. That depends on you guys. Brawl, as you guys are pursuing the ship, could I have you give me a gunnery check to see if you are able to score the final blow to disable this vehicle?
The first brawl roll of this arc is
Damage rolls.
What is it? I don't have it up.
He rolled the wrong thing.
What are you talking about?
No, he got a 19.
Oh no!
No,
I did roll the wrong thing.
You rolled 4d4.
Okay.
Great roll.
Starting off great.
And
Right.
3 of them were 2s.
Yep. Had to get the 2s out of the way. My actual roll was a 25.
Hey. Could you describe how you utilize the guns, because you do manage to score a direct hit on this fleeing vessel?
So, Brawl, while in his power armor, is just honing in on this enemy vessel with his big ol' armored fists now, and then he actually altered the button for the gunner, so he can just slam his fist on a big red button that sends out the projectiles.
That's awful.
So,
we hadn't talked about this. But
Brawl
that's
just
awful.
sits around in his power armor in like our actual
Yes.
ship.
I believe it.
Yep.
Oh god.
It's inconvenient as all get out.
I
Like, he does not
bet,
get down the stairwell without like properly positioning and dropping.
I bet.
All right, so I don't remember. You guys using? Do you have lasers on the ship, or is it all only projectile weapons? I forget. I think you guys had a laser gun.
We had a
last
flat
time.
cannon. We got a flat cannon.
I don't know why you'd use a flat cannon other than it's Brawl firing it, so it's fine.
And we have a coil gun.
The coil gun, which is an
Yep.
energy-based weapon.
Mhm.
Sure. The beam arcs out from your forward-facing gun, strafes across like a broadside on the ship as you get a nice angle on it thanks to Zero's piloting. And you see the engine give a quick sputter, a small explosion internally, and the ship begins drifting lifeless in space. And as it kind of rotates again, you kind of get to see the title of the ship, like painted on in like excessively swoopy text, and it's known as just the Raven. This bright yellow, or at least a one-time bright yellow ship, is known as the Raven. And now that you guys have officially disabled the ship and it's drifting through space, they finally answer your attempts at hailing them. Justin, I'm going to say that you've had an open line of communication trying to get to the ship. Or rather, Seeker, you've had an open line of communication trying to get to the ship, and it's finally activated. The video that comes in on your little terminal screen, because it's not quite as fancy as the HUD display on the pilot seat or the captain's chair, you see the video is malfunctioning a little bit due to the systems of the ship not being perfectly functioning. You see like a shadow, like a silhouette. It's humanoid, possibly the person in front of the screen, but their face is kind of darkened out, and the maybe they're wearing a hood, maybe it's hair, maybe it's not quite as humanoid as you're thinking. And a voice comes through and says, "All right then, I think we could stop this now. Thank you very much."
Ah, you finally responded to our hails.
Yeah, well, the shooting my ship until it doesn't move anymore makes me kind of, I don't know, more prone to talking.
Good job, Stevenson. You did it. You targeted it. I'm proud of you.
Stevenson he is a human male, and as I said, from the planet Revel, so he's got some latent telepathic abilities, is kind of what that matters. But in terms of his appearance, he's got a little bit of a more tan skin. He does keep himself into the sun, unlike most of the party, I suspect. And he, in terms of clothing, he still dresses as he did when he was a junk dealer. So he's got just a vest, grungy looking vest with more pockets than actual like material. He's got like a scavenged helmet on top of his head. And his necklace has got like, he's got like old, like broken up motherboards from computers as like a necklace piece. And he gives you the thumbs up, not wanting to try and remember all of the code words you told him for the buttons he pushed, because it was, as far as he can tell, gibberish, even though he's doing his best.
They probably were gibberish, actually.
What is the color? Blurple.
Yeah, what is the color blurple?
Let me patch you into my captain. I'm sure he'll love to speak to you. Boop.
All right then, Captain of the lovely Indecision. How can I be of help? Rye, what you are seeing is on your wrist monitor, because Seeker has forwarded the call to you, is this like damaged, like not coming in very well image from the other ship.
So the job that we had was just to contact Justinian when we got contact with this person, right?
Yeah. In terms of the person, I think you probably need to be with the person, so either getting them aboard or boarding their ship would be the next step.
Okay. So he plops down his wristwatch onto the counter.
Sure.
So he can look at it while he eats his eggs. Hey, how you doing there?
Oh, I'm doing just great. Thank you for asking.
I noticed you're having a little bit of engine trouble.
Ooh, and I noticed you're a bit of a comedian. I actually have to say, I like it. Keep going, please. Don't stop on my account.
That's all the material I have so far.
Maybe
Been working on a new set.
all I can smell is burning over here. Maybe you could help a pirate out and give me a ride.
Sure. And he puts down his eggs. Yeah, I think I could arrange for that. First and foremost, usual rules apply. Don't try to shoot me or my friends. Agreed.
Is anyone on board not your friend?
Good point. All of them are not my friends. Don't try to shoot any of the people from my ship. Or me.
I can do that, yes.
Okay. How many people do we have on your ship?
Just the one.
Just the one. Okay. So regular docking rules apply. And I reach over to Zero. Hey, good buddy. We're gonna do the beep the boops and connect the two and
Yes, I'll dock with them.
Perfect. Yeah, you have
Great.
no problem navigating the ship so that they are parallel to his dead and drifting ship. You're able to extend an airlock. It latches onto their area. The door opens, and a humanoid male. As far as you can tell, he's human, but that's not a lot to go off of in the deep reaches of space. It's a common physicality. It is a very, very tanned skin, not quite orange skin, but getting there, if you catch my drift. Male walks through. He's got long, flowing blonde hair, which he keeps like coiffed up around his shoulders. He's wearing he should be in a full suit, especially like a spacesuit, considering that his ship is floating through space and damaged. Instead, he is wearing like a flowy white garment that ends at before the elbow joint with purple trimming, and he's got the shirt open so that there's just chest hair that is a much darker color than the hair on top of his head, in full display. And his pants are tight, possibly sweat material or some sort of latex. Hard to tell, but they are very snug. He looks like about as flamboyant a pirate as you guys have probably ever encountered, especially since you're used to the more, grungy and realistic type. And as this person kind of sachets into the room, puts both hands on his hip, he is openly wearing a archaic cutlass, which is to say like a metal sword that would not cut through any modern armor without a lot of work. No other weapons visible, and he stands up to his full height. Who's come to meet him?
Me.
Just you?
No, me and others. Probably
I'll be there.
I gotta go there for,
Needs to be the bouncer,
Right.
the enforcer.
I need him to
make
be
sure they don't try nothing.
I need him to be my muscle, my big, beautiful, bald muscle.
Ugh.
I think he's patchy now, but that's fine. This figure, this person that you guys are sent to encounter, he runs a hand through his hair and says, "You wanted to see me?"
I hand him a plate eggs, and I don't wait. I just shove it into his arms. Welcoming committee. How are you?
He accepts it and he says, "This is unusual, but I'm not necessarily opposed." And he begins to eat the eggs. "How can you eat? Help me, help you, please."
I turn to Brawl, and I just go, watch him.
He's not going nowhere on my watch.
I trust you. And
Brawl, roll
Who's on
perception,
your
please.
watch?
He's not going nowhere on my watch.
That's fair. You've got a pretty good eye on him. He doesn't seem alarming. However, Rye just did hand him a fork, which could be used as a weapon, I think is what you're picking up on, maybe? Like you're
no,
getting some...
it was just a plate of eggs.
Oh, just a plate, no utensils?
Yeah, I just
That's rude.
hand.
All right, yeah, he's
delicious.
still spooning it into his mouth with his fingers. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I forgot to mention it. I did think about that ahead of time because I know you.
He's got a sword. The fork would have been small for Rye, but that's fine. That's fine. Does anyone else address this person, or what's your next step?
Oh
guys?
yeah, so as I do that, I tap Brawl on the shoulder and then attaboy, and I start beeping the boops to let Justinian know that we have target on board, or that we've established contact. That was.
Oh, you're calling Justinian, right?
That's
Sorry, you said Justinian, and I heard Justin, and I was like, Justin, what are you doing? Who's the idiot who made that name so close? So you do the call for Justinian. I'm going to address the phone call now.
Okay.
Justinian is on Castrovel. That is a planet in the Pact Worlds, which is towards the center-ish of the galaxy, judging on how drift travel works, which is the settings like hyperspace. You are not traditionally able to have live conversations over anything because you guys are out in the vast, which it takes days for messages to get to you, if not weeks. Because all data should take as long as drift travel takes to get to you. However, one of the very first things that the Gerson Sphere instituted was a way to communicate in real time in almost anywhere in the galaxy. as long as they're in some sort of vague location associated with some of the drift stones that are like what help drift travel, for some reason communications work. That being said, it is on their network. It is a very specialized network. No one has been able to crack how they do it. It's a well-established secret that there must be some sort of magic involved, because technologically this should be actively impossible. Even magically, this should be impossible. It was one of the things that helps enamor them to the populace, because that is a feature that has been long missing in the galaxy, and it revolutionized communication. So you guys are able to talk to people if you have specific contact parameters through the Gerson Sphere network, or the I think they call it the I haven't quite named it, have I? The Drift Communications Network. As you give a call to Justinian, he sees he picks up right away. You get a little bit more of the background this time. He's wearing the safari outfit, and there is a jungle, like a thick forested jungle behind him, and he just looks irritated, like he's sweating, and he's slapping at, like, I just hit myself in the face. He's slapping at like insects, as you can kind of see them or not see them buzzing in and off screen, and he says, "I was hoping it would be Zero, but what can I do for you, Reich?"
Papa Pizza's Pizza Palace, pepperoni pizza prepared for post.
Could you put Zero on?
Fine.
Zero, do you have a tactical report?
Just kidding, it's still me. No, but really. This time I actually patch in Zero.
So we have him aboard our ship.
Perfect. Can you bring your guest to the conference room and put me on a larger screen there? I'd like to speak with him.
Okay. And I actually alert the whole crew so everyone can listen in.
Perfect. You guys go to the middle floor of the ship, the mid deck. You go all the way to the back towards where engineering is. Engineering is actually split into two sides, which is like berthed in kind of where the wing and engine portions are. And in the middle where they meet is this conference room, which you guys also use as like a meal room and a common space. You're able to put like a full 3D hologram on the table because of the advanced communication features there, and you've got the full Justinian view. And the crew's assembled. I'm gonna have you guys all in the same space, and the pirate you've apprehended kind of like puts both hands on his hips and says, "You're definitely the last person I expected to see out here. Shouldn't you be anywhere else?"
Is that thing real?
What was that?
Is that thing real? He points at his hair.
Oh, to the pirate who's unnamed as so far.
I look over at Miller and mouth. I was thinking the same thing.
I know, right?
I mean, it's just bad.
It's
He leans-
awesome.
He leans over and he says, "Give it a tug."
I tug it. Seeker tugs it.
I tug it too.
It is luscious, and as far as you can tell, real. It is possible synthetics have progressed that far in the future. I do not know, but it is a magnificent mane of hair.
I love it. It's amazing.
What do you use? You know what? This is a conversation for another time.
Sporiella, I'm sure.
Hey,
On
maybe...
the comm, Justinian says, "This call is expensive.
Oh,
Lady
Justinian,
Chimera is footing the bill. Please, let's not upset her. She's in a bit of a way right now, yes?"
When is she not?
When she's talking to me.
None. Justinian, you pirate scum.
Justinian.
I have hired these outsider resources to acquire your services. Is that a problem? I think not, brother dear. I think we can reach a deal, yes? Justinian just rubbing the bridge of his nose. "I need you to get this crew to the diaspora. They are a little bit of a wanted commodity by the Gerson Sphere, and you are going to be their best bet to enter the Pact Worlds." I suppose I can do that. I suppose the ship would do nicely. It seems to be better than my currently floating piece of junk.
We did
I
that.
have,
I could
I
probably
have
fix it.
No, I did that.
I targeted it. Oh, well, actually, Stevenson targeted it.
Stevenson.
Good job,
waves.
Stevenson.
I have a proposition for you, though. I need something in return. See, I wasn't out here gallivanting, as I assume you well know, brother. I need you guys to help me finish my job. Justinian says, I was only here to get you guys in contact. I'm ending this call. Best of luck to you. And if you have to kill him, it's okay. He's looking at the crew of the Indecision. And he hangs up. His hologram fades, and now you are left with Justinian, the space pirate, with the magnificent, awesome, lovely mane of hair.
Dustin says as he takes off his hat, revealing his bald head.
This episode,
Freshly
sponsored
shaven, it
by
looks
Mr.
like.
Clean Magic.
Professor X clean shaven.
Are you willing to work with me a bit, boys?
How come you?
We'd like more information first.
So why do
More
you?
information about what? The hair? I
Good
could go on.
voice.
No, what you need help with.
What I need help with. What was that, little android?
You speak really differently than your brother.
Differently than who?
Than your brother,
Who's his brother?
Justinian. I mean, Justinian is his brother.
My brother went and got himself, how do you say,
Un-Irish?
cultured. I have stayed on the fringe where we belong, and I speak just fine for where I'm from, if you don't mind.
Well, if you ask me, I think your voice sounds much more cultured.
This is
I-
weird.
Can I do a culture roll to find out if this is just trash speak in the
Yes, please. Yeah, roll me a culture.
Okay. What's it say? I missed
It's
It's
a
far more
28.
interesting, that's for sure.
So, Rye, you notice this almost immediately, and he's basically affecting, as far as you can tell, he's affecting the accent of like old timey space pirate dramas.
Mhm.
And as that kind of triggers in your head, you also notice that his attire is ripped straight from like an old space pirate anime style like show that was maybe popular again back in the day. It'd be more like a fanboy thing to carry on into this generation. But yeah, you're definitely familiar with it with your theatrical background. He's definitely adopted a persona. That being said, some folks adopt personas and make them their own. So you're not sure if this is just for your benefit or not.
Would it be based off of a specific show or just a genre?
If you have a specific show in mind that you'd like to create for the universe, yes. Otherwise, I don't have one planned at this time.
Western Bebop.
I'd rather
I'm
not.
going to avoid anything.
Yeah, please don't sue us. You could have at least gone like Western jazz hop or something. Come on, Christopher,
Nope.
you're better than that.
I was gonna call it future jazz.
Future jazz.
Future jazz. It's
I'll allow
bad.
Future Jazz to be the space pirate show that he seems to be. What's the character's name? Do you know?
Jazz.
All right, Jazz, the space pirate, does
Captain
seem to be
Starlock.
Oh no, you should have went with
Jazzy.
Nail. You should have went with Nail
Nail.
instead.
'cause of
Spike.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like
Not
Future
Nail from
Jazz.
Dragon Ball.
Dealing with jazz. I'm actually okay with it. Zero asked for more information. I suppose I can give you a bit more about what I'm doing, at least a touch. You see, our friendly folks in the Gerson sphere are still rather spread out with all their materials. Yes. Well, I may have an inside source who let me know that one of their transport convoys, bringing stuff from out there into the Pact worlds, is coming right this way, and I was going to intercept them, rob them of the worldly goods, and return back to the diaspora myself. So, really, all you have to do is help me out, and we're on the
You're
same
gonna
path
do this
already.
without a crew?
Well, when you are this good, You don't need a crew. They only slow you down. Or
Okay.
they mutinied about a day ago. Take your pick. Absconded with my transports. Bastards.
I certainly do like the cut of your jib.
I don't know what a jib is, but thank you.
And immediately he Reich is studying him, thinking, how do I develop this into a character?
I was thinking, boys, if you're down, maybe we do the wounded damsel in distress using what we have. What do you think?
But we don't have any damsels.
He looks at Reich.
Ahem. I believe you are talking about me.
Oh, I can see it now. I had no idea.
I thought that was just him on a regular day.
I gotta admit, he plays a real good lady.
Yes, I do.
Oh god.
It's like being a damsel's natural to him.
I'm sorry, they don't understand.
I have put so much time and effort into this character. I do declare. I have my wig in my room.
He was
Hold on.
talking about his ship, you numbskull.
Well,
Too late. Rise already walked off.
he's not quite wrong. I do need maybe a damsel in distress on the ship, but you are right. You have garnered the bigger part of that. If I could have your beloved captain maybe jump on over to my ship and maybe man or woman the comms for a bit, I think maybe we could waylay the convoy without much struggle. If my intel is good, they are going deep secret, which is to say they do not have much armed protection, as that would draw attention. Also, why they're using the deep reaches of space for this transport when the drift is much easier. What do you think? Is the plan acceptable?
I'm going to make a real quick disguise check to see
Yep.
how good my quick change is.
Yep.
25.
Yeah, you look pretty good. Describe your womanly attire. How are you doing how are you playing the damsel in distress?
So I come back into the kitchen, and I have a classic
Were those Chimera's clothes?
ball.
Like a Victorian ball gown.
Yeah, Victorian ball gown, and it's made of fine silks, and I've got this brown wig, and the makeup is it's not a full set because I was only gone for like a minute, but like real fast, powdered up and whatnot, and I just walk in. See.
Oh.
You look good. The disguise came over at pretty much how you expected. The space art Dustinian is now looking you up and down with a little bit more interest.
I look at him and smile, and then realize what he's doing, and oh, wig comes off. No.
Dustinian.
Not with that hair.
Single.
He looks down at Miller. He's like, "Oh, I could tell." And he looks at Rye. He's like, "Wig or not really important, but that's fine. Let's keep going." Captain, lovely captain as you are, were you down with the plan? You may not have heard it when you were walking away, but I'd like to put you on my ship, which is struggling a bit. Maybe tuck this ship a bit out of the way,
I bet
and
you
have you try to hail the passing convoy.
I want to do a quick sense motive.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm surprised no one else has called that.
20.
As far as you can tell, the motive is to get the job done. You're not sensing any falsehood with that roll.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm willing to ship these two.
Well, it's a good thing we blew up part of your ship because it looks better like that. For these purposes, at least. At least.
Much more convincing.
I throw the wig back on, straighten it out. I do act much better when the props are authentic, so screw it, I'm in.
I don't think I like him like this.
That's why
Chat is in the background. Yeah, we agree. Do not like.
So no word of a lie, if only I could get the voice down I would love to throw some of the Dean from Community into the Rye character, just like one of his off characters, but I can't get my voice that high.
Well, what kind of ship did you say it was again? What is it affiliated with?
Twitch.
What ship are you talking about?
The one that we're going to be hailing.
The Gerson Sphere.
Oh, I'm in.
The Border Space Union as of nearly a year ago. But
Oh,
they had a bit of a life change and prettied themselves up. It not really make sense because of the Border Space Union when you own all of space, all of known space for the most part, with your lizard friends and your dead allies. Yeah.
it's more like the Space Union then.
You probably should have been in charge of naming. Would have gone over a bit better. But yeah.
I would have come up with something much, much, much spectacular than that.
But we never would have agreed. We're very indecisive.
Hey.
I
You
suppose it has
just
something to do with
character.
the man in charge being, his name is Gerson and all. But yeah, I agree. It's a little bit narcissistic at best.
A bit on the nose.
Yeah, can't stand narcissists myself.
If only he didn't have a company named after him.
They probably put it to an online vote or something.
There's you're talking about Reich's company?
What's that?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, all right. I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know anyone who has a Gerson company. Did I screw something up? I'm not sure exactly what to do with your ship. There's not much around in the space here. It's pretty open, but either we could maybe tuck it behind my ship, have them maybe spin a bit, or just go far away. I don't know what your preference is, but likely we'd keep the captain on my ship and us just close by.
I mean, we could just power up our engines and get ready to hop.
Couldn't we go
No
into
one
silent
following.
running? Isn't there a way?
Oh, I'm sure you could, but I'm a little worried the sensors are going to be paranoid. So unless you have an actual stealth-capable vehicle, might pick you up anyways.
Can I roll a science check to make sure that is correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I just got new stats, so what do I get? What would that be? That would be a physical science, maybe? You think?
What would be the other non-physical science?
Well, there's life science.
No, it wouldn't be life science.
I mean,
I'd
or-
actually think this would be more like an engineering thing. Like
Would
you're
that be?
talking about, like, the
Yeah,
specs
what
for
would that
machines.
be? Engineering?
Yeah, get engineering.
16.
On a
And-
3? Are you kidding? Whatever.
He also Seeker also kind of looks at Miller like,
Roll's got engineering too, you know.
Yeah, but
Uh,
Miller's the engineer.
I'd actually think about this too, because ship-related stuff.
I'll take rolls.
Oof.
Oh, I accidentally clicked a button and got a nat 20.
Oh,
Nat
Brawl
20!
did too.
Ugh.
Mila's actually a bit
so-
distracted.
Mine's technically still better than Rise.
I didn't mean to click the button in the first place. That was
Yeah, since it's ship-related, my DC is -5, so.
Also true. Pretty much everyone feels pretty confident that they've encountered tales of the Border Space Union having really experienced science officers attached to almost all their vessels. You're not really sure what the nature of it is, but it has something all of you guys have encountered. So being able to pick up ships in silent running is possible. I mean, they could do some scans for even like heat signatures on your ship, and like you would have residual heat from just you guys being on there. It requires like direct scanning. It's not something that you pick up as like a passive scan. And I mean, as far as you can tell, or at least as far as Rai can tell with the sense motive, he does seem to be on the up and up about the concern. Now, he did mention you guys could potentially just dock the ships together, and then if you went silent running that way, you still have the smoking like hold hull of the other ship, like, and that could be used as cover. And then silent running at that point makes a little bit more sense as a tool. And I'd say you guys would probably be able to sneak undetected that way.
So I would probably, instead of having us attach, try to position the ship and match like whatever the rotation of the ship is.
Sure.
Something
Yeah,
like
if you want to
that.
do
Put
that.
Put it in orbit or something.
You
Yeah.
guys are still docked right now because you have the tube where you got Dustinian off of the ship. You could send Rai back and then try and detach and then just keep matching the rotation because your rotation should be matched now, realistically. I would allow that. It wouldn't even need any piloting checks because you guys had to do it to dock, and I gave you guys time to do that. So is that what you guys want to do?
I think that'd be good.
Sure.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Reich, dolled up as you are, you throw on like a full spacesuit. Most of your armor probably also has the ability to give you environmental protection. You go to the other ship. Are you going alone, or are you taking anything with you? Rex doesn't volunteer. You could potentially grab Notzab. Notzab is the goblin companion you guys had picked up some time ago. He's a standard height for a goblin. He's a little bit dour in expression. Some goblins are like hyper energetic. He definitely brings the energy in the room down. Traditionally, he is a nudist by nature. However, he has taken to wearing a welder's smock. It's just the apron, but he has at least some clothes now.
When if a ship does a scan for scanning life forms, is it able to detect there are two life forms, or is it able to detect there is a Lashunta and a goblin?
I believe it. Well, again, depending on maybe how severe the computers are, because I haven't looked at the later stuff for Starship computers. I'd assume that'd be more like there are life forms. What's the concentration, or how many? If it gets a really good roll. Justin, as the science officer, can you fill that in at all?
What was that? One more time?
When you do like a scan on a ship, like you are able to figure out like life signs. Is how specific is it?
Yep. You are able to find how many people are on the ship, I believe.
Well, what I'm wondering is if I were to bring Notzab on as a smaller organism, or humanoid, would I be able to pretend during my call that is my son? Here I am, just a damsel in distress, lost adrift in space with my poor son who doesn't talk.
Probably gonna have to disguise him.
God, they
Miller,
look like
Miller would
gremlins.
volunteer.
So it looks like you just get the number.
Okay. Yeah, so you're pretty confident that you wouldn't have to worry about the actual race. However, you have Miller volunteering, and your relationship with Miller is at least marginally better than your relationship with Notzab. So I think you and Miller would make sense.
Oh, that's fine. I figured Miller would want to stay on the ship to man the engines, but
That's a good point.
Miller has been teaching Notzab a lot about the engines and how it works and whatnot. So he was also thinking, if worst case scenario, we need to get out of there in a pinch, he might be able to do something to the engine of what is the ship's name that we're actually
Raven.
You're going on to the Raven.
Raven. If we needed to make a quick repair and bounce, he feels confident that he'd be able to do at least something.
okay. So I look at Miller. I go, well, you are a bit bigger than Notzab. I suppose you could pass as a really fat teenager. I guess
Fat?
a bit.
I'm only 42 pounds. I guess I could lose a couple pounds.
How much does a teenager weigh these days?
My 3-year-old weighs almost 30 pounds, I think. So you're off a bit there, friendo.
So I'm okay with that.
Perfect. All right. To usher things along, Miller, what do you say to Notzab to get him like in the zone as to what he's doing?
All right, Notzab, we've been over this. This is going to be your field exam, so to say. All you have to do is listen to the pilot. He looks over at Zero. That's your pilot. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. So you do whatever the pilot says. If he says, turn on the engines, you turn on the engines. You do it to a T. Zero.
Yes.
You got to be very specific. He's really great at following orders, but you got to be very, very specific.
Where's the T?
All right, buddy. High five.
The slowest high five you have ever felt returns.
I interrupt it.
Notzab looks at his hand for a second. His eyes kind of glint red, but he lets it pass.
All right. We'll see you in a bit, bud.
He nods. And he drags his shirt that he carries around with him to the back of the ship to
As he
be
starts
ready at the
walking
end.
by, I go for a high five. High five, buddy.
He looks up. He puts the hand up as if he's going to. He just can't bring himself to, and he continues walking. It's the closest you've gotten so far, though.
Right, without blinking, just self high five. All right.
Self five.
And as Natsab walks away, you just see his bare naked goblin ass.
Spass.
Oh, there's a toilet paper. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, stop it. No.
Hey,
Not
at
where
least
we're going
he's
with this
using
episode.
it now. At least he's using it now.
Stop. Why?
We had to jettison 3 chairs.
I thought they were rather nice art pieces, really.
Oh.
Is that why your room smells bad?
There's more. No. He really likes those eggs.
Hate all of you. Oh God. The title of the episode is gonna be "At least he's wiping now" or something. All right, moving on. Our lovely Yosoki mechanic and our beloved Lashunta envoy take a trip over to the Raven. You guys detach from the ship. The ship itself, you guys are both in, like, you pull up all your full up environmental protection. The ship itself has life systems are working, so there's like gravity, although it's a little bit less than you'd probably expect as normal. The air is still filtering, but it's thin, so you guys would be safe out of your suit in most rooms. There may be a couple like off rooms that have been sealed due to depressurization. You do have a straight shot to the captain's area, though, the pilot seat, the cockpit, all that fun stuff. You guys can head there, and I'm going to say that you guys get set up, and you guys wait for. I'm going to say it probably takes roughly 2 hours for the next step to happen. Just a quick question: does anyone have any questions for Dustinian while we're waiting for 2 hours?
I just want to know if all the science facility stuff works.
On the ship?
Yeah.
Probably not. Anything that would be outgoing, other than communications, has been mostly disabled to reserve power for the required systems. That being said, you would be able to reroute power to get a couple of systems going at a time at the loss of other facilities. So if you wanted to maybe kick the engines up a little bit, you'd be shutting off life support and probably gravity. But you do have the ability to maybe reroute some things.
Okay.
I actually go to engineering and I make sure that if Notsub knows what he's doing, if I say turn the ship on.
Turn the ship on. The ship's on. He doesn't. That's not really easy. But yeah, you kind of go through some things. Give me a I'm gonna call it a persuasion check for now. Give me a persuasion check. I don't think there's a better one for like teaching someone how to do something or like making sure they understand you.
There's no persuasion.
I'm sorry. Is it diplomacy?
Probably diplomacy.
Yeah, give diplomacy. I'm sorry. I'm going for D&D.
If you want to test his knowledge, you could do an engineering check or something.
Yeah, but that doesn't communicate to Notsub necessarily. Go with diplomacy, and I know it's not your strong suit. So the silent android tries to give instructions to the silent goblin.
10.
As with the 10 for most of my things, that's a passable roll. So you feel pretty confident, and as long as you're not trying to get too complicated with your request, he can probably pull it off. You do know, though, that if you misspeak terribly, you would regret it. He's very literal, not to the point of like being malicious. It's just he's very literal. Anyone else?
As I get back to the cockpit, Rex, I might have to go take over in engineering.
Rex's head swivels around to you. His body doesn't. He likes to do it because he realizes Reich finds it unsettling. That works for me, Haas. We can totally make this work. I will just take over the pilot seat. I think I've got the hang of this thing now. These things, and he rotates his clamps, much better than I thought at this kind of thing. Right. Any other questions for Dustinian? If not, he kind of like saunters into the cockpit area, and he sits in the captain's chair before Reich has a moment to. Reich is on the other ship. That's why. So he sits in the captain's chair, like enjoying the comfort level, and you can still talk to him via comms, Reich.
Okay. So I come through the comm. So, Dustinian,
Yeah.
I have a bit of a favor to ask.
Ooh, you sound like a bit from the old country. Yeah, let's go.
That's what I was going for. So, provided everything goes well, do you think you could hook me up with some juicy details about some embarrassing things Justinian did, that prick, in his youth?
I'm not sure anything he's ever done doesn't qualify as embarrassing, but yeah, I've got a few tales to tell. No problem.
Draw me up a list. I want to embarrass him the next time I see him.
Let me give you the headline then for the next time we speak. That demeanor has not changed much. He used to be a pirate, much like myself. Yep. Yep. Just you wait.
He holds in a reference for bad parenting and just goes, great. Oh, also, take care of me, rat, for me.
You're a rat?
To your left, inside the fur begone container.
He's like, Gods, that's ghastly. Yeah, all right, I can do that.
I call him Fighty. Also, don't eat my candy in the jar next to him.
Oops. Sir, I can do that. One question for you. Why does this chair smell like goblin spoop?
Damn it, not sobs. And I cut off communication as I angrily try to shout at the engineering bay, but can't figure out the communications.
As you two are waiting, Miller and Reich, do you guys talk about anything? Just is there a topic you guys kind of broach? Because you do have 2 hours of basically solitude.
Of me and Miller?
Yes.
Miller, do you have anything to?
I don't have anything at the top of my head.
We just you know what? The whole 2 hours we're sitting there silent, looking at each other, because Miller's practicing his new, well, not new, but the telekinesis.
The mind link circlet.
The mind link circlet, and I'm just going back and forth with him, and just man, real sad. That I'm all out of grenades, and I heard somebody was maybe thinking about building some things, and
I got some stuff drafted up.
yeah.
I got some fun things, some fun little toys I want to experiment with. We might need to do a field test soon.
So we just probably spend most of that time with me excitedly talking about things I want grenades to do that they cannot possibly do.
Yeah, no, I can't do that.
A firebomb that shoots ice.
That just defies the laws of physics.
An ice bomb that shoots fire.
That's just the exact same thing.
An electrical bomb.
That's possible.
That shoots smoke.
That's not.
That has in the shape of a fire.
Where are you coming up with these? You watch way too many of your reference videos.
Oh, come on. They did it in jazz, in Future Jazz.
I'm pretty sure that was a Sporno.
I'm not sure if that's canonically wrong yet.
Yeah. So how was you?
I saw you furiously referencing the other day. I don't want to see it again. I have to watch Nat Sub do it.
Look, it's not about okay, that's a part of the story, but it's not the whole thing. It's just an aspect to it. It doesn't have to.
Emphasis on aspect.
You mean Rice? So just so the viewers realize what has happened now, 2 primary topics on this episode have been goblins wiping their ass and masturbating.
I never said anything like that.
You bastards. Moving on.
I refuse to get dirtier.
The 2 hours pass, and exiting Drift, which not quite what you maybe expected. Exiting Drift, a single solitary ship exits into real space, and it's not super close to where you guys are. However, you have this pre-recorded like distress signal going out, and it does reach their ship. It's still pretty far off, but they do ping you. They do pull you up on the video messaging. They try to hail you on the comms.
All right, Captain, you're up.
I acknowledge. I can't talk. I hit the button to accept the incoming communication.
Yeah, sure. Hello, crew of the Raven. We got your distress signal. Is there something we can do for you from over here, hopefully?
So I just I hit the mute button. I look over at Miller and I just say, "Watch mom at work," and then I hit the the broadcast button. Oh yes, thank Abadar that you are here. I'm just a mother with her. I'm just a mother with her slightly overweight son trying to get across, trying to go home. And my God, something hit my tail. I don't know. I think it was, what do you call them? Comets?
It was a meteor, Mom.
Media?
Meteor.
It was a meteor. And I just need some help.
All right, Raven. Let me get a little bit closer so we can get video communications established. And
Well, my video communication isn't the best, but I'll do my best.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
I throw a blanket over Miller.
While I'm approaching, and whatever sensors Miller kind of has running in the background does indicate that the ship is coming closer, and folks on the Indecision Seeker on the science station does watch that it is orient itself and does kind of drift closer to you guys, not going in any hustle. Can't quite make out the shape of the ship at this distance, but as you get closer, you'll get some more details. It looks bigger than your ship at the very least, just from like the perspective. It does look bigger than your ship. He says, what are you doing out here? There is not a darn thing in really any direction, including, as far as I know, comets.
Well,
Meteors.
Yeah,
that too.
meteor.
You raspy. What was that?
Good job, son. Whatever your name is, I forget. I look back at the at the screen. Well, I'm sorry, handsome. I just not so good with directions. I just went out trying to find a Papa's Pizza Palace, and next thing you know, here I am. Past an Arby's.
At least make it Sparbies, you bastard.
Starbies.
That seems a bit. I'm pretty sure that Pizza Palace you're referencing is a myth. But all right, let me get a little bit closer. Hold on, video communications coming through now.
For 3 months to get this pizza.
3 months, Ma.
My guests have been waiting in that house for so long because I put the wrong date on the invite and just everything's so bad.
Oh, I'm so hungry.
So hungry.
Roll a bluff while the video communication comes on, and the
Absolutely.
screen.
And I will provide assistance.
Sure, that's fair. The screen
I
that comes.
don't.
Oh God!
Wow.
Oh! I mean, there's no
Wow.
critical failing skill checks, but still.
Rise the new brawl. Rise the
15,
new brawl.
the 15's still good actually.
Yep.
Because he's just getting video communication now. I gotta
Oh,
stop those drums.
and plus, also with my, I forgot, there's a +2 to that from my vocal modulator, and if video's on, whatever my disguise check gave me.
The video is just coming on now, so it's not into play. The creature that comes on the screen is you only see their their neck up, and it's a long neck, a little bit long, probably twice the length of like a human's neck, thin, and the face is dark gray, and long, big ears, almost bat-like ears a little bit, with bulbous black eyes in kind of like a puffy like mouth area, completely clean shaven. There's no hair on this head at all.
Can I do a life science check as to what it is?
Yeah, it's not an uncommon race, but yeah, go for it.
So this plus 13. So
It's
an
fine. Yeah, you needed like a 10, and I probably would have given it to you for lower. It's called a Sarcesian, and they're large humanoids, so they're like actually pretty large. And let's see, what would you actually know about them? Their claim to fame, they're from supposedly they originated from the planets that actually make up the diaspora, which is like an asteroid field of 2 destroyed planets. So they supposedly are descendants from the original planets that were destroyed. And their claim to fame is that they're actually able to fly through space. When they're exposed to vacuum, they actually sprout solar style wings. They're a pretty interesting species. They're not uncommon. But yeah, so they're, in terms of what their roles are, very often hired as mercenaries. And your role is probably okay enough that you know that their focus is usually it's either surveillance or marksmanship is kind of what their primary role is.
That leads me to my next question. If I was to do a scan, would that show up on their side?
I don't believe Starfinder covers that, but in my mind, yes.
Okay.
And I think in the canon we've been running with, yeah, if you ping their ship system, they pick up that they're being scanned. That's what we're going with. So are you running a scan?
No.
Probably for the best.
Yeah.
As the ship comes a little bit closer and the video screen starts working, he kind of peers with his like his bulbous black eyes with no pupils or anything. He kind of gets into the camera and he's like, "If I'm gonna be honest, ma'am, you kind of sound like you're full of spoop. So maybe you could tell me why you're really out here and with the truth. I may be willing to help you out."
Well, I didn't want to find. You see, there was a bit of a scandal back at home, and I just embarrassed my family. And see, we're a very prideful family back on what's the nearest civilized planet?
Distance isn't really easily measured in the vast, and because the way drift travel works, you could probably name a planet. I will say, unless you actively hid your antenna, you are going as a Lashuntan female. You could easily say Castrovel.
Okay. Would it be uncommon for people from Castrovel to be out?
No more uncommon than anyone else to be just in the vast of space.
No more uncommon. Okay. So all right. So I'm just. Well, you know, Castrovel. Some of those city states are a little bit more old-fashioned than others, and did something to upset the family, and just tried to get as far away and as fast as I can, and next thing you know, I'm here. Still got no pizza. The pizza wasn't true, though.
Roll me another bluff, and he says, "You know, I imagine after all that's happened, Castrovel getting even more secluded in their city-states. I could see life being difficult for someone who's got a bit of a scandalous name." That's a lovely 3 you rolled.
Yeah, that's actually a 20 all in all.
Yep, that's fair. He says, "You know what? I'm kind of on a tight schedule. I can't really help you that much, but I'd be willing to help you out a bit. Do you know what's wrong with your ship? Is there like a spare part I can maybe ship you? I am on bit of an engineering bay on my ship that's relatively well stocked. I can't, I'm sorry, help you repair, but I wouldn't mind maybe floating you something.
Oh, give me one. I almost just broke into the Dustinian. Well, give me just a minute. Let me ask my son. He's an engineering student. I put it on mute. What do we do?
Uh,
Oh, and all, everything that I say with a smile as if I'm talking to my son.
Good
because
catch.
I learned
Good catch.
from last time.
You're muted, but you're still on camera. That's a good
Yeah.
catch.
And just for reference for anyone who's just now joining in or wasn't there during the prologue season, I once continued a conversation, forgetting that muting does not stop the video feed, and I was clearly caught lying.
Yeah. So just to kind of sum up everything, we are trying to steal everything on the ship, correct?
That is the plan put forth by Dustinian, yes.
All right. We could ask for a lift and then disable it from the inside.
We could. But you're a rat.
So, rats live on Castrovel.
You could be my secret shame.
Everybody's got their kinks.
Okay. So I come back. I don't really understand any of the terms that he said. Something, something, cubic, something, something, hyperbolic, something, something. I'm pretty sure he just threw in the word spoop in there. I don't think that we can repair it. Is there any way that we could get a lift?
Castrovel's kind of out of the way.
I'm going to anywhere but Castroville.
I really shouldn't. I could get in a lot of trouble if I get found out. I am supposed to be going from point A to point B.
We're really quiet and he's really small. Oh, and this would be enough time, I think, in conversation to attempt a diplomacy check.
Yeah. Give it to me.
Baby.
28.
All right, ma'am. I will tell you what. I don't mean to sound distrustful, but we are in the vastness of space. I'm going to have your ship dock with mine. I'll come up and get a broad of you, and I will. I'm going to have to ask you to make sure you're not wearing any weapons and your son's not looking particularly threatening. And I will view you guys in the hatch. I don't mean to alarm you, but I'm going to have a weapon drawn because I need to make sure there's no funny business. But assuming everything goes smoothly and you're all on the up and up, which I honestly feel that you are, I'll help you out. I'll bring you on board, and we'll get you to somewhere in the Pact world. At least I can offer you that.
Oh, trust me, my only weapon on my hips. I don't. If there's one thing I can tell
Gross, Ma.
Shut up. Mama's single. Shut up. There's one thing I can guarantee you. I am useless with a gun. So
How you got through
I just don't
engineering
care.
school?
All right. So the ship comes in closer, and yeah. So with like using the like just like static like scans and not actually looking and maybe trying to get like a viewport window of it. You're all still having a hard time making out the ship too much. It looks like it's got like a the front end looks like it's like a narrow ship, like a small ship, but then like on the back, it almost looks like there's like a large like cargo like truck attached to it. It's almost like a space Mack truck, but the size is not quite like there. And it's like the smaller like what would be like maybe the cab looks to be about the size of maybe your ship. And the back of it is like it's attached to it. It's not like towing something. It is part of the ship. It's an odd looking vessel, and it doesn't quite match anything you guys can tell from like a far view. Could I have you guys roll me a perception check? Everyone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can. 31.
28 with
20.
20.
Um, All right. I would say that probably anyone who got the 25 or above, which it looks like we got 2, which is the folks on the Raven. You guys are actually, you know what? However you feel about it is going to be on you. You notice that the smaller portion of the ship, the cab, looks a lot like the Indecision, which is already kind of a unique profile. It's missing the addendums that you guys added on the front wings that were used as a disguise and the fuel pods. It looks like the original base model of the Indecision, with like this large, like cargo thing attached to its rear. But yeah, the profile is almost unmistakable as same model of ship as the Indecision, which, for those who aren't aware, as far as you guys ever found out, was a one of a kind model produced by the Blue Star Corporation.
Interesting.
All right, and as the ship comes a little bit closer, what instructions do you give it? Because you guys are currently have another ship attached to you. You look like a double-decked ship right now.
I suppose there's no way to connect it to the front so that it does. Oh wait, is it an unmanned cab?
No. I'm talking about your ship. Wait, what are you talking about? Is their ship an unmanned cab?
No, I'm sorry. I must have misunderstood something.
You guys are in the Raven, and the
Mhm.
rest of the party is in the Indecision, and you
Uh-huh.
guys are just kind of parallel right now.
Mhm.
Similar shape in terms of like the profiles aren't too much bigger. Shapes are different though. The Raven's more of a T shape, and you guys are like a lowercase T, and then you guys are more of like a capital T in terms of like how your profiles look.
Sure. Does the ship that we're on have any type of like emergency escape pod?
No, he did mention all of his shuttles are stolen. That includes the escape pods.
Okay, sorry, I missed that.
I didn't actually specifically call out escape pods. It just includes escape pods.
Okay. So I turn to Miller and say, I'm just here for the talking, baby.
Yeah.
Technical decisions are yours.
You guys can have personal communications with the rest of the party, just you can't use ship to ship comms.
Oh yeah, and I will pass on the message to Zero, well everyone, but with an at to Zero, that we're gonna try to futz with the ship when we get on it because we didn't have any other play to stall them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Just get me in their ship. I can wirelessly hack stuff. I forgot.
Anyone from the Indecision have any input?
As they get closer, there's a pretty good chance they might visually see the Indecision.
Correct.
So
That's
we're
kind of
gonna-
what I'm preparing you for.
That's why I'm sending the message. I don't know.
We're going to be prepared to open fire immediately.
Okay. What's your trigger?
So I'd assume the moment they start to move away from either the Raven or the Indecision.
Okay.
Like, so if they notice us and try to flee or something.
The indecision is smaller than the ship that we disabled.
Not significantly. They're about equal.
Does the Raven have any weapons on it? On board?
No.
No.
No, it's an unarmed transport.
Okay.
It's like a bigger transport. It's like a straight cargo hauler. But one of the defining features is it was unarmed, which is why it's been running from you for about an hour before you guys
Gotcha.
got to it.
And it's a pirate ship, though?
Not a very good pirate. We already
I guess not.
You guys aren't fully aware of the setup, but Dustinian felt it was enough.
Because he also didn't need a crew.
Slash maybe the crew mutinied and took some stuff. Who knows? The Circesian comes back onto the comm and says, "Ma'am, there something looks to be wrong with your ship. I'm getting a double profile. It almost looks like your ship is 2 ships."
Oh my god. That's what it must have been. In all the space, I still get rear-ended. My insurance going to go crazy. Can somebody call quadruple A?
Ma'am, has anyone? There's another vessel there. Has anyone tried to contact you from that vessel? Have you been boarded by pirates?
I pause for a second, and I think if will that be a good? What's the BSU view on pirates?
I'm not sure you guys would be in the know because you guys are actually removed from the packed world and you have not actually been able to get access. And that's why you have this whole concocted plan now to get in with this character, Dustinian. So I'm going to give you a big you don't know, and you don't really have time to ask the only one who would, which would be Dustinian.
Okay,
Pat,
so
what is anybody's take on pirates? Other than pirates.
I think they're.
What about
grog
pirates?
as
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it.
well. So I start. Oh my God! What if they are pirates? Oh my God! And just start freaking out. I mean, I don't know. All I have is this purse and my hips to defend myself with. What am I supposed to do? What's a girl supposed to do?
Ma'am, has anyone tried to contact you or boarded your ship?
I mean,
Did you hit a derelict in the vast of space? Are you spooping kidding me?
I'm not the best driver. I borrowed this car. Ship.
I'm alarmed at how sexist this went, and it wasn't supposed to go that way, but that's
no,
fine.
it's not meant to be sexist.
No,
It really isn't.
no, you're not
It
aiming
was
for
the
any
first
stereotypes.
thing-
You're not actually...
Androids aren't people too, right, Pat?
Neither rats.
He says, you know what? I'm gonna come on over, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not willing to dock with your ship while there's maybe some unknowns aboard. Let me you and your son are in full suits, yes?
Mostly.
I'm gonna have to ask you to do something extraordinary if you want to come aboard my ship. I'm gonna open the back hangar. And I'm gonna ask you to jump. And if I see anyone else jumping, I'm gonna shoot them.
Well, don't shoot my son.
Yes, ma'am. I meant other than you and your son.
Oh, okay, that's fine then.
All right, so the ship kind of positions itself like it pulls in so that it's the cab part is looking forward now. It's got the rear hatch, which is it's actually rather large. It could potentially fit your entire ship in it.
Mhm.
The Raven specifically, but also the Indecision. And a small section down the bottom opens up, not the full thing. It looks like the full thing can open. Right now, it's just the bottom area, and it's not so big, or not so small that it's not like it should be easy for you guys to jump. You're able to turn gravity off in the ship. You guys have the ability to like open a hatch, depressurize it and all that stuff, and jump. And as long as you guys aren't completely awful at it, it's an easy like 0G float into the area. Is that what you guys are willing to do?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't even wait for it because I have faith that Miller will save my stupid ass if something goes wrong. But as I jump out, I say, I do say that this is awfully kind of you. We don't come across this kind of niceness in Castroville. It is such just a rude planet. By the way, don't freak out. My son's kind of ugly, and I jump.
For my jumpers, could I have you guys give me acrobatics checks?
Acrobatics or athletics?
Acrobatics. Athletics is like physicality. Acrobatics is
well,
the nimbleness.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. 20.
This
Yep,
plus
you got it.
4. 21.
Perfect. You guys both you walk and you realize that there's like pushing yourself forward a little bit. No trajectory issue. You guys float across open space. Looking around you, you just have the vast, bright pinpricks of stars that seem endless all around you guys. It's a brief moment of tranquility. And then you guys enter into the slightly cavernous doorway of this hangar, and you seem to be entering like a basement level for the hangar because there's still a significant portion above, at least a ship's worth of a hangar above you guys, and you are you guys kind of see as you guys are coming closer. There's the Sarcesian who's got I actually don't think they need spacesuits, so he might just be. Yeah, he's not even got a spacesuit out, and like his wings have like formed now that he's opened up to the void of space. So he's got these glowing gold orange, almost like liquidy looking wings behind him, and a long sniper rifle geared up, and like kind of scoping through both of you guys, and then keeping a read on the ship.
Is he the only thing that we see? Only living person that we see?
Yes.
All right.
Although, give me a perception check to see if there's anything else worthwhile.
19.
You are very confident he's the only thing. The little hangar he's in, it looks to be like he mentioned there was an engineering area. He seems to be in it. You seem to be getting access to it.
Mhm.
I will say that it's a modern airlock which utilizes open concepts, which is to say you pass through like a film or a barrier. It doesn't require like mechanical doors. It might be magical or it might just be some sort of alien tech you haven't really seen. But not every airlock is like old school space shuttles. There are things that are like energy barriers, kind of like what you guys experienced in Dead Dome way back when with the that black barrier. And so as you guys land in the area, he lowers his rifle and he like touches a button so that the doors close behind you. Though it's well lit, it's a nice like modern lit metal room. It's modern in terms of that, and all design is just it's very barren. Like there's no actual frills. It's all utility. And as you guys land, the rifle's lowered. His wings fade out of existence. They kind of like sputter out. And he approaches you both and he says, "Well, I am glad to see you seem to be on the up and up. I got a good view. The other ship looked like it's in good health from what I could see. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but I'll send a team out back for that in just a bit. If you guys want, I'm actually going to have to sequester you guys to the crew quarters. I can have you come aboard the front ship and get you situated up there if that's all right with you guys."
Fine by me as long as you have coffee.
I can get something together, I'm sure. But what I really need you guys to do is promise me you won't go wandering about the ship or looking at any kind of thing, all right?
Oh, I promise.
I give a stern look to Miller. I think he's talking to you.
Yeah, ma.
And as he kind of leads you away, like into the deep, he leans over and he kind of whispers to Reich, "Ma'am, are you aware your son is a Yosoki?"
That's the family shame.
Yeah, all right. Come on up. He leads you through. It's just like a walk corridor, and there's a little elevator that takes you up to the cab, and you guys enter a ship that is, from what you can tell, the exact same model as the Indecision.
And throughout this entire
where your son is a Yosoki. News to
throughout this entire walk, did we see any other forms of life, any signs that anybody else would be on the ship?
Nope. You get up into the cabs, what we're going to call it for now, and there's not a single other crew member aboard. Everything seems to be fitted for one person. There's obviously the ship's big enough to maintain more, but it does seem to be a single person.
All right. Excuse me, sir. We didn't get your name.
Yeah. Mighty sorry about that. They call me Camkey.
Clamkey. That's a tough one to say. Mr. Clamkey.
Camkey.
Camkey. All right. Where is the nearest bathroom? I haven't gone to the bathroom in like, Mom, when the bathroom shut down?
A lady never tells.
Yeah, the refresher's on the way to the crew's quarters. Let me take you there. And I know you're about to do some shenanigans, but I want to pair back to the Indecision. What are you guys doing?
So I imagine we witnessed them jump.
So you're on the wrong view to actually. Let me see. Where's the dock on the ship? No, I don't think you'd probably actively see the jump, but like watching your scanners, like you know what's going on. It's not too obscure, and someone could have left it open commune. I don't think you guys would have kept that super quiet. So I'd say you're aware of the scenario. Yes.
Since Zero has probably informed us to be sure if they were going to jump to fire at them, Brawl's just at the gunner station ready to open fire.
Okay.
No.
Are you guys doing anything else?
Seeker knows that silent running means silent running. Any kind of noise or whatever might possibly endanger them.
He jogs in place very quietly.
Yeah, so he's mostly just kind of like pacing around the science officer lab and just like just really, really bored and trying to figure out what to do to pass the time.
Okay.
So I'm going to actually send a message to Brawl saying he can stand down momentarily.
Brawl.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
So-
a text-based message, not.
I got you. Yeah, you didn't call him. You sent a text. That's totally cool. Do you guys have a game plan, or are you just waiting for the other two to do their thing?
We're waiting for the signal from them, I'd imagine.
Okay. So back to the crew that are now aboard the Indecision style ship. Where was I going with that? Right. You guys you're not getting any feedback from the crew. They seem to be waiting for your actions. In terms of the refresher, he leads you right to the refresher and hovers outside the door, Miller.
Okay.
And he hangs out with your mother.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to try to wirelessly hack the system.
Okay. For the sake of brevity, Justin, could you figure out the DCs for the Indecision? We'll use them. They're not actually the same ship, but just so I have something prepared for it, because I wasn't expecting Chris to hack the ship.
Oh, DC's on that? Okay.
You have like a computer tier, I think you had to choose when you built the ship. That's
I
what he's going to
actually
be going
might
to get.
have some of that written down. What is it? The TL, right?
No, that's target lock.
Oh, okay.
The computer tier would have been a component, and it's what gives you some processing power. I forget what it actually governs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which we actually went a little high on that too, so.
Just while you're looking at it, Miller, what exactly? So
Countermeasures.
you post out like your little hacker's kit that you've got tucked in. How's it look? What is it? Is it like a physical thing or what?
So I actually have a hideaway arm. So like right in my forearm, it's just I just hit a little thing, it opens up a little compartment,
Mhm.
and there is my what do they call it?
Hacking rig.
The custom rig.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right, and so as you're hacking, you're just trying to get into the computer system from here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got 25.
I need to know what the computer tier is. Justin, if you just want to give me a reasonable guess after looking at the tiers available to starships, I'm okay with that. I feel like you
So-
chose the second one, but I could be wrong.
So here's the thing, computers are the ones that give you the extra bonus to different things on the ship while you're doing them, right?
Mhm.
So they give you the bonus. What I think it would be, which I think you had said that you didn't agree with at one point, would be defensive countermeasures, because that stops things like sensors getting a solid reading on the ship.
Mhm.
I would imagine that it could also pertain to hacking.
Well, hacking has like certain things that it actually looks at, and it does look for computer tiers because computers are supposed to have hacking DCs built in.
Yeah, so it's a different kind of computer though that you get for a ship than you do computers. So if you want me to actually look at just computers straight up,
I mean, if that would make more sense, let me
it
see,
kind of
I'm
would,
kinda-
I think. Yeah, because it's ship's computer. So let's see.
Because hacking a computer system typically takes one full action per tier of the computer system.
hmm
And then yeah, there's like a computer strike you can make to reduce that. And any part of the ship that's not behind a firewall.
Computer tiers. So we're looking at how much do you think this computer would cost?
There's really no way to judge that. Which
I guess
level
not.
computer did you get from the ship? Like what, like out of the numbers they offer?
Let's see. Hold on a second. Okay, so a tier 10 computer would be a system managing the entire core of a space station. So
Which
I would say
isn't-
probably somewhere around maybe like a tier 5 or 6, which would be a 37. What 35 is tier 5 is a 33. A tier 6 is a 37.
Okay, so yeah, it looks like it's going to be like a high check, and that sounds about right because hacking Starship shouldn't be something people can do on the easy go. So you actually your role then, Miller, is not enough to get through to hack this ship.
Okay.
What was your role? Let me pull up
25.
25, and we said the DC we're looking at is a 35. Is that what it was, Justin?
Yeah, for 5, yep, 33 for
Oh.
5.
33. Okay, we'll go with the 33. That's fine. So you technically failed it by like a component of 5, like yeah. So you actually get a ping that you've triggered some sort of security system. You don't hear any immediate klaxon alarms or anything like that, but at the very least, likely when someone checks a console, they're going to be alerted that a hacking attempt has happened.
Sure.
Really
It's taken
quickly?
you. What was that?
Really quickly, just because the ship as a whole has a, say, level 5 computer on it, it doesn't
Yep.
mean that the computers used to access that are level 5 or tier 5. So we might be able to access a computer that has access to it, but won't get full access to the ship and its abilities. Just,
Okay.
yeah, if you want me to read it, it says, note that a workstation of a tier 10 computer mainframe might itself only be a tier 3 computer, but it cannot in any way access or control the full mainframe, even if hacked. It can
I'm
interface
gonna
with only the
assume,
components to which it has
Miller would have been
access
looking for like the
granted.
main control, so
Yeah.
I think I'd give it the full tier.
Okay.
Just for the sake of brevity, hacking the ship wasn't really the solution I'm looking for, anyways. So you have pinged it. It has only taken you a full action for 5 tiers. It's not. It didn't take you that long. I'd allow you to try again, but you're not really sure what a compounded error or failure would accomplish. So
Yeah.
I while he's in the door, I'm unaware of the timing that he's doing his hack, and I think that he is doing the hack. Telepathically through the door, I say, perhaps Billy wants to see the cockpit.
Yeah.
okay,
You
so
do it
you're
if you
looking
can't see it.
You're leaving the bathroom, or you're not turning the remote hack again?
No.
Okay.
I
You
flush.
you flush, you exit, and you leave the restroom, and now you guys are with Kamki. Sorry, Karki. No, was it Kamki? It was
Kamki.
Karki. My pen died on the M, so it looks like an R. You guys are with Kamki. He's looking to sequester you guys in a crew room, which is like 10 feet away.
Before we go into the crew quarters, can I see the cockpit?
That's extremely unorthodox.
My son, he's been talking about it for the past. How old are you now?
Like 9.
For the past 9
like
years.
9.
I don't know.
His dream is just ever since he was a little
Mouse?
rat, mouse. Ever since he was just a little.
He puts up his hood.
Oh, that's perfect.
Let's skip with the halting conversation here. Give me a roll for diplomacy.
Yeah, sure.
I'll assist.
You can try, yeah.
With this hood.
This plus 9. God damn it. Actually, I did assist. Yeah.
You did do the assist, but
You
you're
automatically assist.
pulling
So
a brawl.
22 plus whatever
2.
again. Vocal. Well, I don't. Never mind. My disguise would have nothing to do with my diplomacy. So
Not in this
22.
instance.
So 24.
In terms of that, he's like, you know what? Let's just do a quick one, and then I gotta lock you guys in the room because I'm already off schedule just by stopping to chat with you folks. Come on, let's go on in. So he leaves you. Yep, shoot.
So as soon as we get close to the cockpit, now the cockpit has like a door, right?
So you have to climb up a ladder first. You get into the science station, and then I guess we could say it has a door. We've never really talked about that, but I think it's generally an open concept. But we can say it has a
should be
door.
the same as our ship, right?
Yeah, the interior is the same as your ship.
Okay.
It does have a door. I'm sorry, it does have a defined door.
I can try to lock telepathically to Rye. I can lock myself in here and try something.
Telepathic response.
I said, well, I could try to distract him.
So as you guys are telepathically talking, trying to figure things out, you guys get to the cockpit, and there's about 7 blinking red lights that he immediately is drawn to, and he says, "Oh, son of a spook." He pulls, instead of his long rifle, which he's kind of got like attached to the back of the suit now, he pulls a small pistol and turns, so he's got it aimed at you guys low, and he says, "I'm not rightly sure if this is your fault or not, but someone's trying to hack the system on the ship. I'm going to need you guys to get in your room now, and I'm locking you in. Any funny stuff, and I'm going to have to put you down."
Okay.
To bed for the night?
Is that in character?
Yes. And I start shaking and trying to play like maybe this is a joke. The shaking might be real.
And so is the smell.
Ma'am, get below decks. I will follow you down. Enter one of the rooms on either side of the ship, and I will lock the doors. Any more conversation, I apologize. I'm going to shoot you. You guys follow along?
Mm-hmm.
I do that. Mm-hmm. And I try to like sleight of hand. I don't know whether sleight of hand would be necessary, but I try to text our situation to the ship.
I don't even know what kind of check I'd even give you for that.
I'd say that's probably sleight of hand. Because he's trying to do text communication.
Sure,
so.
And you have to like without looking. Yeah, okay, let's do sleight of hand. That's fair. Give me a sleight of hand roll.
Sleight of hand. Sleight of hand. I'm going to just do it manually because I don't see my button. All right, it is this.
Okay. 23, and I'm going to give him a perception check versus you. And I think his perception is amazeballs, so you're not going to like this. Oh God. I just want to let you know his perception is plus 17.
Oh gosh.
I rolled a 4, which is 21. Son of a beatnik!
Dang.
He does not notice. It completely goes like unnoticed by him. He's just so focused on keeping the gun on you guys and getting you down there. He's just trying to rush you, so you're able to quickly tap it out, and your situation is at least sent to them. But you guys are now being put into a room, and unless you guys pull anything quick, he's going to lock the door.
It's just because he had to brag about his amazing score that you've rolled so low.
I guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
Can I take a quick look around to see if there's any weapons lying around? Because I'm pretty sure I couldn't hide my cryo gun on me, so I probably would have left that behind.
Yeah, he wouldn't have allowed any weapons to come on in. Give me a perception check, but it's a pretty barren ship. He does seem to be the only person on there.
It looks like I'm the new brawl.
Yeah, there's nothing weaponized, and when you get into the room, like it's got a bed in it, but it's never been used. It's got like the plastic wrap still around the mattress. As he kind of ushers you in, the door slides shut and locks. And only minutes later, the crew of the Indecision watches as the enemy vessel pulls away and begins to try to exit the system.
What am I doing, Zero?
So we didn't get the message immediately.
You got the message immediately. It's just that your reaction time, I'm giving him time to start the ship up and go, because it would have taken him all of 30 seconds to get up to the upper floor and push the go button.
All right. So I would suggest brawl, open fire, nod sob. Do what Miller would normally tell you when he asks you to turn on the ship.
Again, you really control all the turning on the ship thing. He's usually more for like boosting the engine. He doesn't actually like function.
I
That's
assume
like
he would have to power it up.
no, that's you do
Just
that
tell
off in
me
the center
never mind.
console.
I would start that up the moment we get the message then.
Give me we'll call it a piloting check for now. I just want to see if you're able to do it with some speed, because normally it's a bit of a process to go from silent running.
22.
Yeah, I'll say it doesn't take you too long. The ship does put some distance in between. You get you get power to the engines first, and then eventually to the guns. You can start opening fireball. If you want to make a gunnery check, you can start shooting into like basically you're looking at the rear of the large hangar.
It's weird.
And 16 would be versus its Justin, using the indecision stats, would a 16 hit with your laser rifle?
Our stats, our AC is a 13.
13?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are able to score a hit on the rear of the ship.
Can I quickly target the thrusters?
Yeah, give me a science check, see if you can target the thrusters. We'll give you guys like a surprise round on the ship. You get one shot off, which scores a hit across the back of the cargo bay. And it's deflected on shields, what it is. You do see shields pop to life, and they do protect the actual hull from any
16.
damage. And a 16, would that work on your ship, Justin?
Oh, Chris, you have it open, right?
I have our archaic thing. So what is it against? The TL?
It's been so long since we've done this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting you guys to initiate starship combat, which is why I don't have a statted ship. Somehow you guys always break what I expect. You certainly
I have
weren't
a
supposed to
character
split
sheet for the indecision.
party.
Hold on.
We just need to know like
DC
what
is 15 plus the tier of the enemy ship, so that would be 17, right?
Probably
yeah,
not.
then that's not going to fly. So
So
you're
close.
not able to target the thrusters?
Computers. Computers gives me a +2 check. From what's it called? Computers on the ship.
Yeah, but what's your ship? Is
Our ship's AC is 13.
No, it's at least a 15.
So
That's what I have on the.
His roll is an
I
8.
guess it hasn't been updated.
Yep. Right, we got the +2 computers. Is that what we got?
Yes.
Does the tier of our ship go up considering we haven't upgraded it?
No, it still should be. I think you upgraded to tier 3 last time. So it would be a 15, 16, 17, 18. 16 plus 2 would do
18.
it. That's math.
Yeah.
Okay. You were able to target the thrusters, and you do manage to slow it down. I'm going to say that you targeted the thrusters on like the big cargo portion of the vessel, and you guys noticed that it actually that portion stops, but what you had considered the cab actually emerges from like the nesting that it was in, and it detaches from this big cargo component and like turns around so that it's kind of orienting itself towards you guys. And it is a perfect model of the Indecision, like factory setting, like totally gray chrome paint, no like year of use put into it like you guys have, no markings at all. Like it doesn't, like you have no ship designation on the outside. And it faces you guys head on. And when we pick up next week, we'll be entering our first Starship combat of season 2. And we'll actually have the ship stats played out because you guys will have given me time to prepare that, you bastards.
It would be interesting to see a single person running a ship.
Single person that the other two have seen. So, and it will be interesting. You guys have any questions, comments before we sign off and go to the after party? Wonderful. That was awesome silence. Maybe next time a no would be great. For everyone else, our wonderful viewers, thank you guys for hanging out for the first portion of our episode 1 of season 2 of Mostly Harmful, a Starfinder campaign. We will be picking up next Tuesday, every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. EST, and then at 10:30 is when we about wrap up, and then we move into the after party, which is when we interact with the chat and anyone who wants to, touch base, ask questions, or we bully each other when no one else is addressing us, because that's how we roll. I want to say thank you again. Really appreciate you guys coming and joining us. I hope you liked the show. If you did, please consider throwing us some info on the Discord, mentioning us on Twitter, popping into Reddit and saying, hey, we were great. And we would love to see some more interaction on that level, because we are trying to, bring a show that's not complete garbage to you. Until next week, then, just remember, guys, never split the party.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Miller, right.
Justinian.
And Chris. Patrick and Chris this time.
Justinian
Yeah.
did this.
No, that was you.
All right,
that was all
guys.
you.
It's all Miller and right.